Guys, welcome and hello and hello and welcome. I'd like to welcome the live studio audience today. We have, I think, 9 or 10,000 people here in the office. It's a little bit crowded. It's like one of those tiny desk concerts they do over at NPR, except we just got a bunch of pasty fat guys. They're part of the introductory class to my new trading system designed exclusively for portly gentlemen, plus-size traders, chunky stock monkeys. Yes, you know it. You love it. It's the Tebadaki method. It's going to be a 2-week course, going to be priced right around $250,000. And as I told you before, you have to weigh a minimum of 20 stone to enroll. Minimum of 20 stone. If you're at least 22 stone, you get the course for half price. If you're 25 stone or over, it's free tuition to the Tebadaki method. But anyway, guys, I digress. It is me. It is I. It is your chunky stock monkey, Danny Deals. One of the only overweight superheroes on the internet. No, they try to give diversity among dolls. They don't give you any fat toys. Maybe Grossman and Chips. I don't know if they ever did a Grossman doll, but give a guy a complex. Sorry, guys. I've got a bit of a head cold. I'm really, really tired, but I wanted to come at you because people keep thinking this is the top. People keep overthinking it, guys. The SPAC price was 10. It's almost 4 years of absolutely crushing it. These guys crush more than Big Pun. Rest in peace. I think Big Pun died. I never know who died. I know Fat Joe's still around and just lost like a ton of weight. I think he did something. He's on Ozempic or so. I can't remember, guys. My memory's terrible. Plus, I don't sleep. Plus, I'm trying not to drink coffee. Plus, I'm trying not to eat French fries and cheeseburgers. It's basically hard being me. Anyway, I guess I should talk about something other than my own picadillos. Probably talk about SoFi Technologies Incorporated. Ticker symbol, of course, SOFI. And if you say it with that inflection, SOFI, it's more likely to go up. What's up, Javier? SoFi fam, right back at you, Javier. We got Pat Man. Biden paused the student loan repayment plans again today. Does absolutely nothing to SoFi. It might be a good PR thing, but anytime he does one, the courts strike it down anyway. And the dirty little secret is none of those people that those programs apply to, 99% of them would never be a SoFi customer anyway, not in a million years. SoFi is taking people with high balances, graduate degrees, doctors, lawyers, these kinds of people that need to refi a large balance. These are like the ITT tech crowd that got screwed by a trade school, didn't graduate, can't pay their loans. These aren't the borrowers SoFi is looking at. SoFi's student loan refi borrowers average FICO, I believe, is like 780. And the average size of the loan, it's really big, like 60,000 or something. I know their average personal loan, I think, is like 25,000. But the average student loan is even big. I just can't remember all these numbers, guys. I do read them every quarter. I read every number like 2-3 times, try to digest it. I'm not an accountant. I'm not great with spreadsheets. I'm not teaching a course besides the Tebadaki method. And that is, as I said, exclusively geared to plus-size gentlemen, men of generous proportions, because, we got to get out there, guys. Throw our weight around, as it were. No pun intended. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. It's an absolute great day for SoFi. Volume, not a lurker's confusion notwithstanding. A volume today was right at 50 million, which I've said a million times since I started this channel. That is absolutely perfect bullish volume. You got a stock like Upstart down 1%. Even the great Palantir that everybody can't stop teabagging for 2 seconds, it's down 0.63. Looks like Bitcoin was probably down a little bit because Coinbase is falling, and then Ass Firm, of course, sponsored by the great Ben Affleck, the forehead himself, the greatest forehead since the five-head Julian Bologna over at Compass Point. But anyway, that $4 price target on the basis of fair value accounting, it doesn't make any sense. But be that as it may, everything was down. Even Lucid, which is heading quickly toward bankruptcy, despite making a really nice-looking SUV, bringing that thing to market, but this is an extremely strong day for SoFi. The algo was trying its very best to hold it. And, it did its thing. It did sort of that normal sell-off it does for half an hour at open. And then it basically did do the hump, the SoFi hump. The sofa hump is your chance to go back to where you open. I can't remember. Digital Underground, what was that? That was some random stuff. The guy would like wear a fake nose. I can't even remember what the hell was going on with that. Anyway, that was so long ago. That must have been like the 1980s or 90s or something like that. Anyway, it was pre Y2K. I know that. And I reset all my breakers, all my transistors blue doing Y2K. So I don't remember anything like Y2K. It was like one of those Will Smith scenarios, like Men in Black, that zapped my memory. So I was one of the only few things that had all. I was only programmed for a 2-digit date. And when the 4-digit date hit, I just short circuited, went totally insane, ate an entire smorgasbord. I don't know how to say that word, like Bjorg, or like Bjorn. You ever watch that show, like Something Alaska, when it's all these people that like fight over Main Street, and they're always fighting over like the stoplight, and he's like, I don't know. It's just the weirdest stuff. This was again during the pandemic, when you just couldn't leave the house. You start watching all these weird reality shows about like Alaska, and it's where I picked up my love of crab fishing. It's not what didn't start with Deadliest Catch Chris, aka Data Driven Investing. We met on the Bering Sea. Man, saved my life more than once. I was sloppy with my pots. My own fault. My fat head got crushed, but Chris had my back, and I'll never forget it. We also broke out of prison together, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Who do we have? We have the greatest beard on YouTube, Jay Gadsby. We got, of course, many other great folks here. The great moderator, Alberto Berti Avilés. I still do not know the whereabouts of his nephew. Once I gave him that wrench, he disappeared. We got Dale P. I do not know. I might know a thing. I don't know about two. That's me saying I'm lurking. Tiff, what's up, Tiff? How you doing? Deep Night Labs, let's get it. Gretz, all the 52. Yeah, it's looking really good, guys. 3, 2, 1, let's Poco. Indeed, we got Joel Madsen. Let's go. I agree with you, Amelia. I agree. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Sofi Stock is up. We got Vladdy Z. I'm doing okay. I'm sick. I'm tired. The IRS just took all my money, bent me over a barrel, rolled me, left me, with no wallet, credit cards, way to get home in Tijuana. But they do that to me every year, my good friends at the IRS. No, state of California is even worse. I mean, my taxes have gone up so much in California. It's just crazy. I mean, I don't even want to calculate what percentage of my money I give the government, because it's so far over half now. It's just totally depressing. But then again, I should stop making so many short-term capital gains in the market, but I can't help myself. If my SoFi calls are up 360%, I sell them, and I take that money and I roll it into more and more SoFi leaps. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. So if I have to pay taxes and I'm making a ton of money, oh well. There's worse problems to have. What's up, Javier? I already said hello. I already said Patman. What's going on, Patman? Deuce said they returned 7 million. Let me get that out to you guys, because I know you're looking to see that rather than just a confused fat guy ramble about the intricacies of his day-to-day struggles with basic tasks and function. But so looks like 6.5 million today returned. Cost to borrow averaged, at least it wasn't negative on the minimum side. So, but still tons and tons of shares. Just a lot of SoFi shares, constant dilution, constant stock-based compensation, created a lot of shares out of thin air for their acquisitions, I think, so it's just a lot of shares. There's no shortage of shares to borrow. There never seems to be. Very, very rarely does this get under that over 10 million figure. It does happen occasionally, but very, very rarely. So many good things going on, guys. I keep people's like, oh, you're insane. It's not going to go to 1360. How could it possibly go to 1360? Well, these were the same characters that were telling me that I was crazy. Remember, I drew this weird little sun here, this little rectangle. I don't know when this was, but I could go back and see in my video when I first put that here. But I think it was like 2 weeks ago when the stock was like way down here or way over here, somewhere here. I drew this here and I said, this is where it's going. And I don't know, guys. I mean, a broken clock's right twice a day, but I really have a feel for where this stock is going. And anybody who says I'm crazy, that's going to go, to 1360. I just don't think you've seen enough of these. I don't think you know what you're talking about, because this was a pump and dump, this move to 1160. This was just complete mechanics, completely meaningless. It did test the line, get rejected, but we've already cleared this line. We've already cleared this line. We've already cleared I think we're going to clear resistance here. It's consolidating for a move up even this week. I don't really think there's any doubt about it. I think shorts are going to cover absent some really bad news and earnings and macro, but I don't think the FUD's going to work, because everything in fintech, everything in growth was red today anyway. And, SoFi's just fundamentally undervalued. And that's why I titled this video, if you believe that SoFi management has earned credibility, then the stock is just undervalued by 50%. I mean, Goldman Sachs is saying around 3 billion next year sold. So you're talking about forward sales less than 4x on a company that is probably going to be growing 25% plus next year. It just doesn't make any sense. I was reading this article on Seeking Alpha, which is an excellent article. But anyway, basically what I'm saying is, once it clears this is all just gibberish. This is just algo walk down. It doesn't, so you don't have anything till the high 13s. That's where I think it's going. That's where I think the next real resistance is. I don't think this is just bullshit. I mean, I know that's not a technical term or a pattern, but that's my opinion for whatever it's worth, which is, zero, exactly what you paid. But I don't know, guys. Everyone was saying, sell calls, this thing's going back to 6. It's all a Fugazi, Noto, he can't possibly deliver on these. But I believe management here has earned a ton of credibility. And I believe they earn at least a multiple 5x that $3 billion forward sales figure, putting a market cap somewhere around $15 billion and a stock price approaching $15. That's why I'm calling for, 1360, taking into account that we should see significant resistance there on the technical side. But really, I think the stock's worth at least $15 today, because I don't think this is fraught with risk at all. I think Noto hedges against risk better than anybody. Guys, I apologize if I have to take a quick break. It'll only be like 2 minutes. I just have to pay a vendor really quickly. Might be swinging by my office. Lo and behold, everybody just paid taxes and everybody wants to get paid. So not a big shock there. But anyway, so if I do have to take a quick break, I'll be right back with you in like 2-3 minutes. But if you want to go do something else, totally understand. No big deal. But anyway, that's the chart, guys. I think there's just a ton of headroom up until that, right around 14 area. I'm calling it at 1360. That's just where I'm seeing the low end of those peaks. Hold on, guys. Let me, this is probably that break, and then I'll be right back with you. Apologies, guys. Hey guys, apologies. Just give me like 2 minutes and I'll be right back with you. I'll try to continue with this broadcast. Just tons of distractions. I have like some kind of learning disabilities, I think. Thank you guys. Carry on. Hey guys, sorry about that. Hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Let me restart the broadcast with a little dose of the old SoFi cowbell. Many early guys may not know it. We have the Cow Pie Hall of Fame, including the Chia Pet, the 5 Head. I made this a long time ago. Midwest Values, I don't know, the Chipmunk. I think he was the guy from Oppenheimer. But my neighbors here in the faux office park love the SoFi cowbell, of course. Whenever the stock is a good rally, get a, who doesn't love a fired up fat guy doing full send with a cowbell in the office next door while you're trying to run some spreadsheets? Oh, we all love that. Oh no, we don't. I love these sound machines. Like if I can't get Tevis on the broadcast, we have to be disruptive. I can at least get my sound effects machine full of corporate jargon. Let's really drill down on this. So this covers probably 2/3 of what you need to know to be an effective middle manager somewhere in corporate America. I feel like there's a disconnect. No. Obviously, if I led a team, I would feel completely different about that. But no, people are so stupid. They think like oh, you got to stop making fun of Canadians. I love Canadians. I love those guys. You're so stupid. You should have taken the fish. You're so stupid. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome to all of my new viewers. We did live short interest, was looking at just a little bit under 7 million. Is it still a buy? A lot of people want to talk valuation. People saying, why do I think this thing's worth 5x forward sales? Well, the simple fact is the growth is going to be, I think 2025, the growth is going to be 25, could even be 30%. I think fair value accounting is going to help SoFi, not hurt SoFi. I think they're going to be very selective with the loans they make because they can be. There's going to be a lot of demand for personal loans. You have a strong economy, strong jobs, people doing well, but there's a lot of credit card debt, a lot of consumer debt, a lot of personal debt, in general, auto debt. You can refi any of these things into a personal loan with SoFi, but I think SoFi is only going to take the creme de la creme, take the cream off the top, leave all the, bullshit behind for the other, turds to scrap for on their loan platform, and then they're going to make a fee there or leave them to somebody horrible who has less standards, like a lending club or one of these fly-by-night companies without a bank charter. There's just so many things happening that lead me to believe SoFi hasn't even started yet. This company hasn't even got started yet. They've just been building the foundation. There's always a point where you have to build something for it to work. Like when you build out a restaurant space at the beginning, obviously there's no customers, there's no business. You're just pouring money into building out the space, getting the permits, all the equipment, all the glassware, all this stuff. So you're just pouring money out. But once it's done, you're going to have that repeat customer base that's just going to be, hopefully, it doesn't really work this way with the restaurant business, but hopefully it's just going to print money consistently, systematically for many, many years to come. So those inputs are going to be worth it. That's the point we're at with SoFi. These products are brand new. They were never, a person. They were basically a student lending company. Then, you bring in the personal loans. Then you bring in all this, fintech stuff, financial services stuff, banking. You get the bank charter just a few years ago. And these different branches of SoFi are already making money, already contribution positive. But they've just been building these things. So there's been a lot of money going out in costs and a lot of money, frankly, going to customer acquisition that they're not going to need to put out as much anymore per customer. Because the demand is going to be there. The organic demand is going to be there. SoFi is much more well known for things beyond student loans. SoFi, in fact, has some of the most satisfied customers of any bank out there. And they own the top end, the premium, high end, high dollar, big loan part of the student loan refi market. There's nobody else really there in the space. No significant players. I think Discover was the last other player, and I think they got bought out, I believe, by Capital One, and they're just sold the business off to somebody else, or, closed it down and had other people service the loans or whatever it may be. So guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Of course, we saw the upgrade Citibank 11 to 12. We see Morgan Stanley come out with the $6 sell while they've just been accumulating more and more shares, at least according to their filings. Some people don't want to believe that, but I don't know. That's what the filings say. So that's what I'm going with. Maximum pain listing at 950, but there's a lot of dead money, open interest, at least on the put side. This ain't going back to 750 this week. I'll tell you that. So as far as volume, calls coming in heavily, of course, eternal cockeyed optimist 10.50 11, and then puts basically making a stand at 10, but fairly weak in terms of like looking like a 2-to-1 on terms of the volume. Puts to calls that are coming in, something along those lines. So maximum pain really pretty even between 10, and so yeah, it really is right around 950. It hasn't, maximum pain doesn't have a lot of meaning in terms of these runs because everybody's trying to roll out of their options positions. Everybody's doing all kinds of stuff, so things are changing very, very quickly. And the open interest, you got to kind of keep your eye on the volume, keep your eye on what's in coming weeks too, because people are repositioning, trying to extend obviously their time horizon. So you just can't really go by just max pain, how it's calculated in a static way. But volume is perfect. So we talked about that. Raising numbers, raising not just target prices, but raising guidance. Analysts, I think 3 have raised just here recently. You can go through those any number of places. You just look up the analyst guidance. Galileo pipeline is a huge wild card. We've been been told there's customers coming, there's customers being onboarded, various stages. I mean, we don't know at what point a big significant client is going to hit Galileo's books and spike those member numbers in a meaningful way, like a big one. And when that big one hits, I think that's going to be very important for the valuation of the company. I think the deal they just did with Fortress should be important as well, because it shows that they're going to generate fee-based, capital-light income that's going to really improve the bottom line for the company. And they're, looking at doing more and more of that. And then fourth quarter of GAAP EPS positive, of course, technically makes them eligible for the S&P 500. They don't have a large enough market cap to do that right now. Those guidelines are not set in stone. I guess it's kind of up to a committee situation that handles that. But if they can get up to around $15, which I think is quite possible, couple more quarters of EPS gap positive, ERs, they could definitely get into the S&P 500, possibly, late 2025. I think that would be a huge boon for the stock. This is debatable. I'd like opinions on people who understand accounting a lot better than I do. Fair value accounting, it just seems to me, I listened to Giuliano Bologna, who I know is a smart guy. He's good at what he does, educated. So what he's talking about is real phenomenon, but I'm saying, is it real in terms of theory, or is it actually going to happen? And if it's actually going to happen, why isn't it happening yet? Or is it happening and I just can't see it in the books because I ain't smart enough? I ain't smart enough, boss. But I think the 5-head has it wrong. Despite his giant forehead, he might have this one wrong. I mean, I think fair value accounting can help them if they're really selective on these personal loans that just have a duration of a few years, and you have a third party marking these loans. I mean, some of the existing loans are probably going to get more valuable, you'd think, as interest rates come down. If they're making the payments on time, those loans in the marketplace would become more valuable. And SoFi generated a lot of loans when interest rates were quite high, early in 2023 through, I think, the mid part of 2023. And then they started to pull back, I think, toward the end of 2023. But they have a lot of good loans still. And then, so those loans are actually they're going to write up the value. That's going to help the books. But also the loans are going to generate, the way fair value accounting works, that they get to recognize, a higher value on day one. That's also going to help the books. So if the delinquencies, the defaults aren't, falling apart, getting anywhere near management's upper end of what they plan for, and there's a tremendous amount of, demand for their personal loans from people with, super high credit, super high likelihood to pay. And remember, they're not just using credit anymore. They're using AI to sort of measure people's financial picture. So loans they're going to hold on their books, I think they're going to be extremely conservative with vetting who's going to get those loans. So I think, and again, I'm not trying to assert this as fact. I'm just saying it seems to me logically that fair value accounting could at least be a wash and could actually help SoFi in 2025 if their loan generation is massive. Because, let's face it, SoFi is going to have no problem getting funding for as many loans as they can generate to these super premium customers. If they don't have enough room on their books, they'll make room. I mean, these are profitable loans, profitable customers. If huge demand is there with proper good clients, they're not going to take their foot off the gas. Noto knows when to hit the brakes. He knows when to hit the gas. And people like me who are, Monday morning quarterbacks, couch surfers who second guess the guy, we should just keep our mouths shut because he has set the table. He has set the table for this time, this situation. He knows what's coming. He knew, he said, hey, we're only going to get 2 rate cuts this year, long time ago when everybody else was saying like 4 to 6. The guy has a real good, eye for the future, for the macro, for how to hedge against potential problems, potential risks, far beyond anything I can even understand. So what I'm saying, if you believe management is credible, and I think they have earned that right. I mean, I'm not saying you should just blindly believe what they say. Look at the evidence, look at the guidance, look at the trends, look at the analysts, look at, all these things that, can provide some basis for forming an opinion. But at the end of the day, you have to form your own opinion, decide what you want to do for yourself. But management's saying, I believe it's 55 to 80 cents, 2026 GAAP EPS. And LaPointe has said, that includes nothing new. So if there's anything new that would add to the guidance, I think they're going to add a lot to the guidance anyway. So I'm looking for at least $1 EPS in 2026. And I think that makes SoFi at least undervalued by at least 50%. Personally, I think you could say even more than that by 2026, quite a bit more than that. I think this stock can easily be $25 to $30 by 2026, but management, again, has to execute perfectly. EPS would have to be trending up over $1. Everything would have to be firing on all cylinders, but we don't have any reason to believe that's impossible. I mean, I don't think Noto was, high on bath salts when he made these contracts that his stock options would print at 25, 35, whatever it is. I think he saw the numbers, the multiples, the revenue, the EPS, where it's going to be, and he knew what multiple that deserved, and he knew eventually SoFi is going to get that multiple that it has earned, not the multiple that the shorts decide it should have. Because the shorts have turned tail and run right now. They haven't, covered everything, but they're certainly not digging in. And earnings whisper again, 6 cents. A lot of analysts are saying 4. Other analysts are saying 5. I think SoFi's guidance was for 5, but again, I know they expect to beat their own guidance by at least a cent. So, I mean, personally, I'm looking for 6 cents, but I think it could even surprise to the upside. I just don't know. So much depends on Galileo. So much depends on how the loans are marked. So much depends on stuff that's just a little bit above my pay grade in terms of what I understand about, accounting, finance, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm certainly willing to get up and voice an uninformed Karenish opinion on the topic, as you know. So anyway, guys, that's mostly all I have. Great article, by the way. Great article on Seeking Alpha. People like, oh, you're just pumping. There's no more upside from here. Guys, this was the SPAC price. There's tons of upside from here. The multiples are just too damn low. The rent may be too damn high, but the SoFi multiples are too damn low. So the core metrics, including 3 conservative. This is, by the way, I don't really know this guy, Noah's Ark Capital Management, but SoFi's business turnaround is accelerating. 2025 looks amazing. He's a strong buy. Now, I just don't go by the headline. I read the article relatively quickly, but so the investment thesis, he covered the stock before, given the expectation that the Fed may continue lower rates further this year and through 2025, will further reduce borrowing costs, giving consumers the lift they need, helping SoFi accelerate their growth. This is just what I was talking about. More consumers seek to refinancing existing debt, explore new borrowing options at lower rates. I think SoFi will benefit from an uptick in demand for their loan products. Well, no shit, Sherlock. So their shares have already increased 60% from his last analysis in June. I think the biggest driver of the uptick is now a much stronger path to profitability. This is the key. Powering growth powered by a growing deposit base and lower Fed interest rates. The company's made huge improvements. Their performance now locking in 3 consecutive quarters of GAAP profitability, which demonstrates how the company is getting loan and mean cost discipline execution. Investors seem to like this. Even though the shares have run up, this is key, nearly 80%. I'm still bullish on SoFi. The core unit economics are now even more convincing with metrics such as Q2 adjusted net revenue showing strong improvement. In addition, with SoFi's personal loan borrowers, weighted average income coming in at 168,000, weighted FICO at 747 coming out of the sky. Most lingering concern around borrower quality. The company has much clearer path ahead. The purpose of this follow-up coverage is to show that despite the fact that shares will send the one of sorry guys, I can't talk that fast forever. My brain gets scrambled. My RAM's full. I'm buffering. Help me, I'm buffering. SoFi has booked impressive results year to date. Adjusted net revenue reaching 597 million Q2 alone, up from 488, so 22% year-on-year growth. And this was supposed to be 15%. That's what the analysts were trying to sell you. In the very worst of times, year-on-year growth was 22%. So adjusted EBITDA 138 million, jumped by 80%, maintaining a healthy margin of 23%. Why the earnings are old, almost 3 months at this point, I think what is key from the earnings side is the fact that we zoom out, the long run picture of the company makes way more sense now. I talk more about this in the risk section, but the bear thesis is melting away. If we sum it up, the company has a very clear path ahead. Some of the biggest pieces of the business and some of the biggest milestones are all moving in their favor. Net income has been GAAP positive for 3 quarters. Revenue is strong. Student loan balances are now in better shape. And to this, the company's 90-day delinquency rate for personal loans has dropped, which is very encouraging sign. 90-plus day delinquency loans have dropped to 0.64%, down from 0.72% in the previous quarter. So this is what management told you. All the bad stuff topped out Q1, maybe early part of Q2. It's been trending down ever since. We'll have to see if that continues in the next ER. But if it does, it's just more evidence that everything these guys are trying to say is just complete FUD. And it just has no credibility. Who has credibility? Anthony Noto or the five head? You know, the Chia Pet or Chris LaPointe? You know, Derek White or Danny Deals, or DJ Patchy Drizzle, or Stock Karen, or Hurricane Lopez. Yeah, I have no credibility, and I'm fine with that, because I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm just trying to present you numbers, evidence, with a bit of, I'm trying to tickle your funny bone occasionally, like Peter Griffin. Sorry, folks, I'm just trying. But the point is, guys, I'm not trying to fool anybody. I really think the stock's going to 1360, and I think it will be undervalued when it gets there. That's my honest opinion. I'm not short the stock. I'm not pumping to dump it. I was honest. I flipped some shares last time at 1160, but that was clearly a pump and dump. 22% run. And then, so that's on one day. You know what's happening, guys. This is totally different. This is perfect bullish 50 million volume on a day when everything else is red and SoFi is just absolutely crushing. Nobody wants to sell. Shorts want to cover. Everybody wants to buy. It's a perfect storm, guys. You still have 7. Where's the risk? Why short this thing? Why is there 17% short interest on this stock? Yeah, several years ago, it looked quite risky. Maybe even a year and a half ago. Maybe a little bit a year ago. The risk melts away, just like this gentleman said, or lady, I don't know who it is who's writing this. The bear case has just melted away. It's been vapor since day one, but it's just materialized more and more that there's nothing there. There is no there. It depends on what your definition of the word is. And you're like, well, Mr. Clinton, were you getting a blowjob? It's like, Want to get some pizza? Anyway, yeah, it's a tough question when they ask it directly. It's like, it depends on what your definition of the word is. It's like, well, do you know the definition of the word fellatio? He's like, I play the saxophone. I don't know. I could play you something. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello. I personally just Bill Clinton. I don't know. Just he can make that face like, I don't know, like just they gotcha. Got a beeger. Guilty. Chunky is charged. Anyway, hello and welcome and hello and welcome. The show is certainly not about Bill Clinton. I don't know why I thought, but it's just fun. I used to love doing a Bill Clinton impression. Like, I don't know. Yeah, deep dish pizza would be fine. I don't know. I can't do it because I have a sore throat. I have a cold. I took some cold medicine. Anyway, who wants to do a Bill Clinton impression? Freaking like 30 years from being topical. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello. Let me get through. This is actually a really good article. I want to get to the part about valuation. This guy just has it down pat. If I was more smart, this is exactly how I would say it. But I say it how I say it, and then he says it how he says it. He says it more better. So I'm going to read it what he has to say. I wish I could talk as fast and as clearly as the Micro Machine guy, but I can't. So SoFi has new things coming out, and these were not part of any guidance. So delinquencies are down. So that FUD is, it's a bunch of bullshit. That's really what'll be the big problem with fair value accounting is if delinquencies were skyrocketing, but delinquencies are going down. That's why what the five head says, the bologna sandwich says is going to happen or is happening actually isn't happening. Because he's, constructing an alternate reality, in my opinion, to basically gaslight everybody into believing that the stock is worth $4 when it's worth $15. But, who am I? I'm not an investment banker or a highly paid analyst. I don't have a giant forehead. I can't ramble for 90 minutes to try to confuse everybody and make it seem like SoFi is on the cusp of some huge problems when they're at, in fact, on the edge of glory, like Lady Gaga. Everybody is really savaging this new Lady Gaga movie and her musical performances, this Batman thing. It's like, people convince themselves that they're actors. I don't know, Madonna. Like, I don't need to see William Dafoe's bony ass humping Madonna or whatever it is. Like, I just don't need it. I don't need it in my life. I don't need to see like a great actor paired with some, egomaniac with a affected British accent out of nowhere. Like, just because your ex-husband is British, you don't have a British accent. I lived in London. Like, I don't give a fuck. Jersey or whatever. But anyway, so's not a lurker. It's not all bad. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello, and welcome to those of you just joining us. Let me get on with this article, or else I will never finish this broadcast and I will die of a sore throat. SoFi has unveiled, this is key. SoFi has unveiled several new initiatives, such as directed share platform DSP 2.0. Designed in collaboration with Primary Bid Technologies. This is a key signal to show where the firm wants to go next. SoFi says the platform allows company. This news just kind of got swept under the rug. I think it's pretty big news. SoFi says the platform allows companies to manage their equity programs more efficiently, particularly during initial public offerings. So the distribution of shares to non-institutional investors, such as employees and customers, is far more streamlined. DSP 2.0 is a big deal because it helps modernize the equity management process and it makes it easier for firms to raise capital. What this does for SoFi help increase the transaction volumes they facilitate as the IPO market rebounds. DSP 2.0 means SoFi is trying to spread their exposure away from just loans and into the fee side of banking business. With more and more retail investors getting involved in the IPO process as companies award early angel investors, early customers, and early adopters, SoFi is building their wedge product that gets their foot in the door into the lucrative business of helping companies go public. I would not be surprised if from here is awkward comedy. It kind of annoys me when I'm reading in my announcer voice, but I have a sore throat anyway, and I'm just trying to annoy myself at this point enough so I end this broadcast. I would not be surprised if, from here, SoFi uses services like DSP 2.0 to take a bigger role in the IPO process. So again, guys, they're weaseling in. It's a foot in the door. It's spreading the cheeks, if you will. SoFi uses services, take a bigger role in the IPO process. Any sign that the fintech firm is getting into traditional Wall Street deal making would mean the opportunity to set the company and what the fuck am I saying? Would mean the opportunity set for the company could multiply. So, bigger total addressable market, more opportunity, the set. He's using statistical jargon that not all of us understand. Don't make me get into a fighting stance. I've had a pulled groin since 1999 during an intramural inner tube water polo game. Some girl dunked me underwater, almost drowned, ended up pulling my groin. Pulling it ever since. Every time I play tennis, I pull my damn groin. Oh, got a lot of problems south of the equator, if you know what I mean. Anyway, no, it's not my oh God, let me get off this topic. Let me get back to the article. But anyway, my groin hurts. SoFi says the platform allows companies to manage that. We already know that. It's a big deal, but I already read that before I started thinking about my throbbing groin pain. SoFi is trying to spread their exposure away from just loans and into the fee side of the banking business. I think I already read this in my announcer voice. Let me get to the valuation point. So on the surface, this is key because everybody's trying to put the brakes, $6. SoFi looks like it's facing a valuation dilemma driven by a high forward PE ratio. Try and say that one time fast. Almost out of water. Thank God we're almost over. This broadcast sucks anyway, right? Am I right? Right. Okay, so on the surface, valuation dilemma. Under the surface, everything's rosy. The fintech's PE ratio stands at 89.93, which is high. For appear far more expensive than the sector median of 12.53, a difference of that's kind of meaningless at this point because they're just started making money this year. I think for us to truly see the picture, we have to dig deeper analysis, price to sales, of course. This is exactly what I've been talking about. I didn't just lift this. I only really skimmed this article very briefly, so I didn't really get this far, but he's right because I'm right and I just said this. So on a price to sales basis, SoFi's valuation is closer to the sector median. A forward price to sales ratio of SoFi is roughly 4.39 compared to the sector median of 2.99, reflecting a premium above the median roughly 47%. While this is also higher than the sector median, it is justified because the fact that SoFi's forward revenue growth of 22.8% is set to be a 320% premium. Sector median is 5%. They're expected to grow at 23%. I said next year 25 to 30%, which would entitle them to an even higher multiple. I think an 8 times multiple or an $18 billion valuation of forward sales would not be inappropriate at all, given traditional, growth stock valuations and how it's been done in the past. But for some reason, none of that applies to SoFi, even though it's growing, even though it's profitable, even though, the eventual margins will be outstanding. The business plan is, capital light as they grow. All good things. Mazel, good things. As the guy said in Along Came Polly, the Alec Baldwin character. How do they keep trying Alec Baldwin for that manslaughter? I mean, what an idiot. Obviously, I blame everybody, a poor lady who died. I mean, it's horrible, horrible thing, but I can't imagine he was anywhere trying to kill her. I mean, and I can't stand Alec Baldwin, like, personally. Seems like a real, just real, real tough to take, maybe, but I definitely don't think he was trying to kill anybody. But Carol, anybody tells you, you don't point a firearm at somebody. You always consider firearms loaded. But I guess if you have like an armory master there and, they're in charge of the firearms and they hand it to you and tell you it's safe. I don't know, but I still don't know why you have to point at somebody. Pull the trigger. Jesus Christ. Horrible, horrible tragedy, whatever. But I know they charged him, didn't charge him for it. I don't know why I even thought about that right now. I think the biggest reason we see a discrepancy between forward PE and forward price to sales, so price compared to relative sector median, is largely attributed so far. This is, of course, they just started making money. They're tiny. They're just starting to scale. It's nothing company. Couple billion. They're going to be selling 10 billion in just a few years. It'll look like a totally different business. So SoFi has not yet reached the scale where they have optimized net income margins. Keep in mind, they've only been consecutive gap profitable for 3 quarters. This guy gets it. This guy or lady gets it. He writes like a guy. It's a little aggressive. So over the last 3 months, SoFi has seen 3 upward revisions in their EPS estimates with no downward revision. So this is the little Zach score deal. EPS is set to grow by 135% next year and 72% the year after. This is what I'm talking about. The implied EPS growth, if you believe management has credibility, tells you the stock is undervalued. I just don't know if there's any. The only way, they're always sandbagging, so you don't even pay attention to the low side of their guidance. They're sandbagging the high side of the guidance. So that you have to believe they're going to hit at least that 80 cents. But I think it's going to be more like $1. I think we're going to see dramatic, new products, growth in products, better margins, cost reductions, new partners. A lot of stuff will happen for this company. It's just getting started. With this, I think SoFi has some upside. I think the company should trade roughly 60% premium to sector median price sales. Reflect the upside the company has from their strong loan book, new IPO innovations, and improving margins. Recent earning revisions, the run-up in shares tell me the market is beginning to price this in as well. If we saw the shares move up to 60% premium from the 46.9% premium have now, this would represent a 27% upside, which I think would put it like somewhere around $13. I don't know exactly when he wrote this, so I don't know what price he's using, but it was the most recent article on Seeking Alpha, which leads me to believe it was the last day or so. So risks, and I want to be fair. Let's go over the risks. Q2, more than 43 million Americans, student loans, 1.7 trillion, default rates clearly higher for student loans at SoFi than they are for personal loan debt. It's clearly a weaker division because of this. SoFi large student loan portfolio presents risk to their balance sheet, but I actually think new student loan forgiveness policies could be a silver lining. Recent federal court rulings have cleared the way for Biden administration to give their student loan forgiveness plan that could impact millions of borrowers. I guess they just might have given up on that today. Somebody was saying. Not sure if this is the same program, so don't want to speculate, bring you in any inaccurate information. Specifically targeting loans backed by the federal government. While on the surface this might appear concerning for SoFi, they have a private student loan portfolio. I actually think this will be helpful. Borrowers will prioritize federal student loan forgiveness and then move to paying off private student loan companies like SoFi. Many of borrowers have a mix of both public and private student loans. In fact, while the student loan forgiveness program is just starting for the Biden administration, there's clear evidence that average private student loan balances and the overall loan book balances are falling for SoFi. They're moving away from student loans and into everything else. That's the bottom line. Technology, FinTurd, financial services, banking, everything else is becoming a bigger part of the business, and lending in general and student lending specifically is smaller. But I hope it becomes a bigger part because I think they can, originate a hell of a lot of very nice, profitable student loans. I don't know if they're going to like hold those on their books. I don't think so, but I still think it could be a profitable business. And why turn it away? I think it'll bring, really qualified top end people onto the wheel, and we can sell them other products, which is, of course, the whole point of this business after all. So last quarter, average private student loan balances fell at SoFi 3% year over year. Overall, student loan balances were down by almost 400 million from Q1 to Q2. This trend looks like it's set to continue. I'm really optimistic. Bottom line, SoFi shares have lived up and exceeded my expectations, my summer expectations, and their surge back above $10 tells me the market is catching wind of a business that has fundamentally evolved. From a big picture standpoint, a lot of the headwinds the company has had are now turning to tailwinds, driven by favorable U.S. Federal Reserve. They flipped it. I'm gonna flip you. It's like Fenster. I'll flip you for real. Increased borrower repayments made new borrowers more likely to step up and apply for a new loan. New innovative products like directed share platform means there's even more catalyst for the firm. I'm really excited about this business. With this, I'm still bullish on shares, even if their current more elevated valuation. While they may seem high on a forward PE basis, they really appear more reasonable when assessed on a price to sales basis. For now, I continue to rate SoFi a strong buy. And I completely agree with that analysis. That's basically everything I've been saying in a nutshell about the company. Only down 1 cent after hours, $10.39. Volume is bullish. Everything looks bullish right now to me. They're clearing all the garbage, all the gaps. If they just leave that all behind and push up toward that 1360 figure, which I think they're going to do, I think that's all going to become meaningless. I mean, let's not forget this stock, went up into the high 20s thrice. It was too high at the time. It was ridiculous. I know, but algo's been on the stock ever since. And smart money's accumulating, and smart money's going to run it up. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, guys, that's about all I have for you today. I think that's been more than long enough. Let me go over a few of your comments, go down from where I was. What's up, Jay Gatsby? How's it going? What's up, Lisa? Grit and Grunt is here. Started rolling my calls up today. Yeah, you got to, Grit and Grunt. Matt Flo, aka Big Earn. Hello, Matt Flo. What's going on, man? Ukeko, yeah, 1040. We're gonna blast right through it this week, Ukeko. Don't even worry about it. Volume's bullish, shorts are covering, this thing's going up. This was a red day. If this was a green day, probably would have been up I don't know, at least 5%. So just making dinner and let the dollars in. Sure, Lisa, good for you. Options chain after earnings needs some bullish volume. Yeah, no, I know, Barbecue. I was talking about that yesterday. It's very ambiguous, kind of up and down one week to the next. The options look like market makers are going to keep fucking with us and, sell it off a little bit after earnings, and then I think take it higher maybe the next week. But it's really hard to say what they're going to do. Another day in paradise. Go SoFi. Go Detroit Lions. Richard Vaughn. What's up, Richard Vaughn? I'm gonna dispense with the drifting bit with Richard Vaughn. I found out he is a professional and a hardworking professional, and I'm not going to saddle him with my Richard Vaughn getting junior bit anymore. It's tired bit. Very tired. Minnesota. Oh, Ludafisk. Oh, Matt Flo. Matt Flo's in Minnesota freezing his flowy bulls off. Not much, just all you can eat buffet. Buy the SoFi stock. Yukeko's got the right idea. I'm not going to tell you to buy. I don't give financial advice. But if I was going to, I'd tell you to buy the SoFi stock. Yeah, I'm surprised Wedbush hasn't downgraded the stock too. I think Pat, I think some his bosses might have intervened a little bit. He was rating the stock like every 2 weeks. It got a little bit absurd, quite frankly. Professional analysts just generally don't behave like that. It was a little odd. It was like a personal thing or something. It seemed like I don't know. I don't know what happened, but certainly hasn't said boo in I don't know 5-6 months, which usually he's re-rating like said every few weeks. 350. But anyway, you look pretty foolish when the stock's blowing through 10 and you're going to say 3. I mean, obviously, the people doing the senior secured note deal, all these institutions that are buying. I mean, if you look at, let's see, institutional ownership for SoFi, and then you see, buys, it's like there's only a few filings on 1021. Triad Wealth Partners sold out, but 4 brand new positions. And then just an interesting one, you'll see Raymond James and Associates increased 2%. They have 530,000 shares. I didn't even know they were on the stock. You see red versus green, guys. It's not even close. I mean, there's a few red points down there, but it's at least 3-1 new positions to sold off, and a lot more companies are increasing than decreasing. So institutions are buying, institutional ownership is going up. Institutional put call ratio over the long term has gotten more bullish. And like I said, I think the companies that are going to run this up, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Vanguard, Fidelity, the 3 mega banks are in there with like 4 million shares. You have other companies like Morgan Fudley who are putting sell rating at $6 on the stock while they accumulate a bunch of shares. And somebody was telling me like, oh, I'm just making this up. Like, this is just your opinion. I'm like, this is my opinion. This is a 13F and A Morgan Stanley filed on October 17th that they increased their position by 6% to 16 million shares. And then, is this my opinion? This is Morgan Stanley with a sell rating reiterating at $6. So I don't know. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing. They've hit the stock over and over again when it's trying to rally. So, and that whole time, this whole year, they've been accumulating. So I don't know. I draw your own conclusion if you don't agree with mine, but I think it's pretty clear what's going on. So yeah, they want to buy low. These guys don't want to pay $10. They probably don't even really want to pay $6 for this stock. They could have bought at $4, but they decided, the play was to keep shorting and keep churning, and they did, and I'm sure they made a lot of money, but now the stock is going up, and there's an inflection point, and institutions are buying, and the jig is up, and the game is over, and they're not able to run this scam anymore, and the shorts are kind of out there like maybe they're hoping for a bad ER, light guidance, but I don't think they're going to get it. So I think they have some tough decisions to make in the next 5 trading days, and I think the stock will continue to go up. That's what I think. Like, well, you're just pumping the stock. You're goddamn right I am. Yeah, I own a ton of it, and I'm pumping it, and I want it to go up, and I want people to know about its good attributes, and I also want people to know about the risks. I mean, there's always a risk in buying a stock that's just run up a lot. It can always pull back. It's not going to pull back to 6. I don't think it's going to pull back to 7. Certainly could pull back, I think, like to 9. Certainly could come back down here quite easily. I don't think it's going to, because so much depends on the ER. A lot depends on, what happens with interest rates too. And that, again, is something just completely beyond management's control. But they've planned for it. They've game planned different scenarios. They have war plans on the shelf for every possible scenario. Remember, Noto was at the top of his class in engineering in the United States Military Academy. This isn't an MBA, stuffed shirt douchebag like you see at so many of these companies. Another point I just wanted to make is like on that, price to sales valuation. Just take a look at a company like an Upstart who just says whatever, and they don't really back it up with numbers quarter after quarter, but their market cap is pushing $5 billion. Okay. And if you're charitable this year, they're going to sell they're at like 600 million. So if you just say things go nuts and next year they're selling like almost $1 billion, so there already would be 5x forward sales, complete pie in the sky valuation. And then their earnings are going the wrong direction. Their sales are going the wrong direction. There's no top line growth. There's no improvement in the bottom line, but they're making promises. I mean, they had a huge beat here, but obviously there was just a massive sandbag at play. But I mean, they're getting 5x, a forward sales multiple of some just made up multiple, say it's like 800. So, they'd be getting at least 6x already. And why? Because they say AI, they say Amazon, they say these different buzzwords, but they're not making any money. I don't understand why some of these companies get these multiples and SoFi is just a bank, even though they're clearly not just a bank. The fact that they are a bank was brilliant because they got a bank charter and they really needed it, and it's doing them all kinds of good, and nobody else can get one. None of these other fintechs can get one. There's all these problems with these zombie charter banks, these rent-a charters. That's the whole basis of the FinTurd industry. Quasi-banking, pseudo-banking, almost banking, seems like banking. Whose deposit is that? Let's try to figure it out. Oh, it's not a lurker on the bat phone, the great J Money. We'd like to thank the great not a lurker and also the great Alberto Berti Avalez, our two intrepid moderators. Don't sub and like. Do not sub and like. J Money's just said, do not sub and like whatever you do. Don't sub and like. It's Rat Stacks best on wax. Pay the hits for 67 days. It's DJ Patchy Drizzle. We come in with a whimper, and you don't even know when we leave. That's how quietly we leave. Like a thief in the night, folks. Anyway, folks, so Jay Gatsby, I go to the buffets every single day, and I love to eat. Don't you find it hard to keep that beard clean in a buffet scenario? Drink tap water by Sofi Stock. I'm trying, you Keko. I'm out of water. This Fortress deal adds around 5 cents EPS next 12 months. 2026 estimates in mind. So far, I don't see why not. Anybody who wants, SoFi has the brand name. SoFi has the platform. This is the place to go. You need to generate business. You need to generate loans. You got to come to SoFi. You got to go to the hair. You got to go to the Noto. You got to go to Floyd the barber. Opie, he's like, someday I may need a favor from you. Maybe a haircut or a trim. What's that bit? SCTV. Or it may need to lay down your life for me. Like, well, they didn't really break my barber pole as much as they just bent it a little. Like, anyway, hello and welcome and hello. I could out eat all of you. Danny couldn't keep up with me his life. I don't actually eat that much. I just have a shitty metabolism and a bum ankle. Okay, you are a good man. I hope. Hey, what's up, Ohad Masika? I'm probably saying your name right. You're a good man. I apologize, but I can't tell if you're male or female. Ohad Masika. I'm going to say men because I think the vast majority of my viewers are men, and usually women have like a cute picture, not just a big O, but I don't know. I'm speculating. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Okay, that was Shock G. That was Shock G, the guy who put the something in your panties or whatever. Humpty Dance. Yeah, welcome and hello, guys. Crazy how Rivian started at 130 and now we have a higher market. Well, I mean, dude, Rivian, that's the thing. You have to make money. Rivian does nothing but just burn cash. I think somebody's trying to break into my office. Drink tap water by the SoFi Stock. Couldn't agree more. 1-2 punch. Danny, did you go to SoFi Members Lounge? Oh, I did not. I was in the VIP lounge, and then a couple of people actually recognized me. It was so stupid. And then I got pulled aside, and then we had a great time. Me and Princess J weren't forced to sign too many autographs, but it was great. The VIP experience at SoFi Stadium is just great. We got VIP parking right in front of the stadium. You don't have to wait in any lines. They usher you in. Absolutely delightful. And of course, my Raiders played like shit again. They played like shit when I went and saw the opening day at SoFi Stadium versus the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers played terrible, but still beat the Raiders easily. And this Rams game, I mean, God, it's just so sloppy. I mean, the Raiders ain't like 75 plays from scrimmage, the Rams 45 or something, and just Oh my God. Who's Gardner Minshew? Guy looks like Johnny Heisman size out there. Looks like he should be selling men's shoes. I don't know. There's no arm strength. The guy's off balance every single play. He's stumbling around. Nobody's touching him. Why are you off balance every play, falling over, throwing a dying duck? Why don't you have any arm strength? Guy rolls out. He can't even get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Fucking terrible. Get the Wentz wagon out there. Dust off Carson Wentz. TB12, 10% owner. Let's get 100% at QB. I'd take a 48-year-old Frankensteinish TB12 over Gardner Minshew. Threw the ball like 60 times for 170 shitty yards. It was like 4 yards a throw. Fuck me in the goat ass. I mean, it's nice because if you're in the SoFi VIP area, you don't even have to watch the last. But I like to watch the game, so I watch the game anyway. But there's so much else to do. You have a beautiful catering spread. You've got all these other entertainment options. You got bands going. It's just gorgeous. Plus, you can just enjoy the stadium and go around. You can shop. You can eat. You can dine. You can wine. You could dance. You can do jazz hands in the SoFi circle. It's like the SoFi branding is a lot better than it was when the stadium first opened. They have a lot more. They have like SoFi places you sign up for credit cards, little kiosks, more branding in the stores. You can see my gorgeous new SoFi Stadium hat. Oh, isn't that festive? Oh, hat head. Anyway, guys, it's getting kind of hot. Throw that turd away. Oh, I'm a big sweaty mess. I'm a big animal. Big animal. Anyway, guys, Lee Armstrong, strong arm in all of us. What's going on, Lee Armstrong? We got M. Russo 215. The other 214 M. Russos did not stand a chance. The clear winner in the M. Russo categories, M. Russo 215, as you all know. Sure hope this gets back 550. I was thinking about starting a position. Gallows humor. Not funny, M. Russo. Not funny. We got a potential to spatter. Woo! Guys, as the great philosopher Ric Flair once said, woo! Strong arm. You do not trust, I know Tanner could beat the hell out of me, but don't trust an analyst unless he has don't trust a U-turner unless he's sporting at least a 20-inch bicep. Like fat man workout, 5 sets of preacher curls and a chicken quesadilla. That's what you do. You do 5 sets of preacher curls. You do 1 set chicken quesadilla. Maybe 2 sets if you're feeling extra portly. Anyway, guys, we got Toto in the house. What's up, Toto? Matt Flo, shame on her. Yes, she sold her whole position. We got subbing oh, no, we don't. We do not need any more subs. We don't need 3K subs. We didn't need 2K subs. We didn't need any subs. Just how many we have is just fine. We don't need any new people. By the way, guys, I'm going to be doing a members area, and you can't pay. Okay? I'm just letting in un poco mas Hall of Famers. So we're going to do after hours, and we're going to lock out the turds, but you can't buy your way in. You got to contribute. If you've been here for a long time, your first ballot Hall of Famer, you're going to be a member. It's going to be absolutely free for life. I'm never going to charge you anything. I told you that a long time ago. Maybe idiots didn't believe me. I'm never going to charge you a dime. My opinion is not worth anything. If I did a course, I should pay you to take it because it would just be a bunch of my bad jokes. Rapid fire, rapid fire, rapid fire. Be no value to it. Do you need to read me, hear me read someone else's article really fast? No, you don't. Oh, anyway, guys, I'm exhausted. 80 watching, 17 thumbs up. What the hell? Come on, folks. Let's go. Alberto. Thanks, Alberto. Tiff, SoFi needs to go to 30 before I have the money for those fancy tools, undo subscriptions. Yeah, mouse. Is that what you mean by a fancy tool? What's going on, Lee? Steve in the mountains. Yes, we are up. I think because we're finally exceeded the SPAC price. We finally see shorts covering, and it was a complete sea of red and growth and finturd, and we were up strong. I'm going to call this a green day. I'm going to call this a Green Day, Steve. Why not? Hi, honey. I don't know who Lisa's talking to. Probably Alberto. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Está bien? Ole, stocks with Bruce was splitting some fire with a 16 to 17 pump. I think 15 is very possible. I don't see why not. I mean, the stock went to the high 20s 3 times. What do you have? Sugar in your backseat, Mr. McCracken? For my morning coffee. And didn't I tell you to call me Big Earn? Like, you got sugar in your gas tank. Here, taste. Like, you want to make some supplemental income? Like, supplemental? Yeah, supplemental. Like, it means extra. Do you need extra money? Like, why don't you go finish eating that outside and come back? Oh yeah, Kingpin, absolutely brilliant stuff. Thank you for that, Jay Gadsby. Like to definitely think about Bigger and McCracken anytime I can. Finally, Bigger is above the law. 90 plus people watching. Oh, a bunch of losers. What are you doing here? I feel like Meme Frog getting hello clap. I got Mr. Gadsby and his magnificent beard. Guy's got one of the best beards on YouTube. With no offense to what's that Russian dude's name with like a made up name, Tom. He's like a Tesla guy. I can't remember. I don't even know if he's Russian, but he has some kind of accent. This is one of these made up name guys. It's one of these agencies. And they just like, I don't know. In my opinion, they pay all these U-turders to just sling absolute bullshit. Like, oh, Tesla's going to be, $50,000 a share by the end of the month. Like, are you sure? Oh, yes. I did some napkin math. Well, that cinches it. Here's all my money. I'm a vendor, DoorDash. That song is hilarious. What's up with the clap? I'm a Mega Bull. Clap my dog. Vendor, Panda Express. Clap my dog. Bought more Neo today. I bought more Neo today also. Clap my dog. Yeah, I did too. I think that one is going to have a huge reversal. I mean, huge. DBS just put in a buy, I think, at 850, 56% upside. They're the same. If you actually look at this analyst, on SoFi, Man Yi Lu, buy at 11. I'm not sure if that's the same analyst that's on Neo. Jeez, a lot of Chinese stocks, a lot of reiteration. Apparently different analysts, but critical rating because they're very, very good. I saw both analysts have good ratings, but guys, I think 1360, honest to God, is a layup. I don't think these shorts have anywhere to go to push this stock back down and cover successfully. I think if they do push it back down, bigger fish are going to eat that up and, buy up the shares, put them even in a worse position than when they started. And there are consequences eventually to being wrong. That's what shorts are learning. There are consequences eventually to being wrong. And they were wrong about this company. I don't even know if they cared if they were wrong or right. They made a ton of money. They made a ton of money, on options. They made a ton of money on returners, on stop loss trades, on, selling the dip and smelling the rip, as returners tend to do over and over and over again. But I think the jig is up. I think institutions are stabilizing this thing. I see Goldman's hands all over it. I think Goldman has something to do with it. I think there will be some kind of partnership, or they were buying heavily in the third quarter, or they're on some kind of options trade, or whatever it is. I think Noto is too close to Goldman. He had Goldman, in his DNA running through his veins. He was an absolute all-star there. 2 stints. They gave him basically his intro to Twitter. I think that was a deal. Noto is not like your average guy who's like a founder, been with the company a long time, promoted from within. The guy is a stone cold killer. He's a hired gun, but he came to this company when they were doing $300 million in sales like 6-7 years ago. He said, this is my plan. This is my ambition. He sold it to the board. The board hired him. They gave him all these options. And ever since then, this company has been executing despite overwhelming odds, incredible obstacles. I don't see how you can say management does not have an extreme amount of credibility in the bank. I'm going to pound on the table. I'm going to ring the SoFi cowbell. Show you the Cow Pie Hall of Fame. Where's the Chia Pet? Somebody get his picture on a milk carton. Don't bring a hockey puck to a seed fight, Danny. I don't know what that means. What's a seed fight? Sounds like some kind of an Amish circle jerk. Hand steeples activated. Thank you. SoFi is about to blow. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Thank you, Sugar Lips. Heirloom Cedar. Hello. It's me, Spicy Nips. So many great Jerky Boys references to be had. I bought more SoFi and Rocket Labs. I don't own Rocket Lab right now. Everybody loves Rocket Lab. I haven't really had a chance to do enough DD. Everybody keeps talking about it. I want to dig into that company because a lot of people that I, kind of like, not just Jay Gatsby, but a lot of people that I respect their opinion are in that stock, have a lot of good things to say about it. Canada delivery. What does that mean? Some kind of Canada thing? Canadian soda delivery. SoFi is harder than a deep fried Mars bar. Sounds like somebody's at the state fair right now. Clap my dog. It's a beautiful looking golden retriever you have there, by the way. Is Danny doing a live stream for earnings? Last time I did, I got up super early. I super Karen'd. I was super excited, and I was super serial. And then the stock didn't really do what I wanted it to do, so I was super even more Karen-y. I don't know. We'll see, guys. I don't sleep anyway, so probably. I sold cash secured puts on my beard. That's funny. Jay Gatsby kind of looks like somebody famous. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. Looks like it's annoying me now. Some actor or something. I don't know. Talk amongst yourself. Coffee talk. This must be from back when I took my break. What's up, ENB? It's coffee talk. We'll talk. No big whoop. Clap my dog. The Chia Pet is my favorite. What a turd. Yeah, and you know what? He's a very smart guy. He's a professional. I felt like maybe he actually thought the stock was going to die. Maybe he thought all these problems were real. And if you look at his EPS revisions and stuff, his revenue revisions, he's really in line with other analysts. He's not any kind of idiot or anything. I don't know. He's just got something for this stock, whatever it is. I don't really get it, but God bless, health and happiness. I hope the Chia Pet, lives a long, happy. I don't try to be bitter because these guys create dips and I take advantage of those dips. I just feel bad for people who don't understand that and end up selling the dip and smelling the rip and rinsing and repeating and just getting, crushed year after year. Hey, don't listen to analysts. If anything, go the opposite way. And if anything, go by the opportunities they create. Don't listen to anything they say. They're not there trying to help you. They don't work for you. They work for investment banks. They work for smart money. Okay? They do not work for you. They're not your friend. They're not your friend. Danny Deal's your friend. When your old buddy Danny Deals, you say, hey, I don't have an old buddy Danny Deals. You do now, friend. What a dumb bit, guys. All my bits are dumb. You got juicy premium for that, Mr. Gatsby? I don't know. This depends. I've been looking at puts. I have not had time to sell options. Turd burger break. Yeah, sorry, guys. Sorry about that turd break. People want to get paid, People need money. I need money like anybody. I got to sell. Customer says he buy, I'll bash his fucking head in the car. You buy this fucking car, break your fucking head open. No, I don't think it's going to work out. My son is in his 20s, tried to get a personal loan with collateral for $20K to get a car. Credit score $750 a member, SoFi for over a year with no debt. They denied his loan. So yeah. I mean, they don't care about, your son in his 20s, his collateral, his $750 credit score, his membership duration. It sounds like he's a worthy borrower, but they're looking at, length. They're not looking for borrowers in their 20s who are trying to get a fancy, car, trying to get 24-inch rims from Rent-A-Wheel for their V6 Charger that they put exhaust on to try to make it sound tough, but it still sounds like a V6. I'm not talking about like the 3.6. I'm talking about like the 2.8. High pitched, little weak, barely sounds deeper than like an import tuned exhaust. Oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about. What's up? It's Oleg Alexandrov. Everybody's favorite. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's true. Hello from sunny Italy. Hello, Oleg. How are you, sir? Thank you for taking the time to comment. Let's see. You're leading a very large team here, DD. Thanks for keeping us in the game. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to talk this thing up, trying to coach it up, trying to keep people from dumping those runs down to the 6s, down to the 4s, down to the 7s. Hang in there. I know a lot of it is tempting. Hey, I'm going to dump and move to NVIDIA, and you might have done quite well. I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm not trying to trash other stocks. I'm just saying SoFi looks very, very attractive still at these. I'd be very, very cautious here. I think it could pull back. Always watch your entry points. It's tough to buy after this kind of run because you think it's going to pull back. But if ER is good enough, if it's what I'm expecting, I don't think it will. So I wouldn't hesitate to buy at 10 if you want to start a position. I'm already way overweight this thing. So I'm buying some Neo because I just believe that's been suppressed like crazy. The borrowing has been insane. I'm going to try to do another video on that. I heard the Noto and the Chia Pet are good friends. That's funny, Lee. My target price is 1040. I can be a half-star analyst. And nothing wrong with that. You hit the nail right on the head. I think you just said that because that's where it is. But some of these analyst jobs create FUD, price lowers own business, buy stock cheap. At a Morgan Stanley, they did a hit piece on SoFi, lower guidance, and bought 60 million shares. Yeah, I did a video about that, JS. Thanks. Yes, JS took the Morgan FUD. We all know. Bologna is not smart. Danny valued SoFi 1/3 of business. I'm not. See, Lee, you're saying he's being honest. I'd rather believe he's clearly smart. I mean, he clearly knows what he's talking about. He's clearly highly educated. You don't get these jobs being an idiot, going to Ivy League schools or whatever. He's not an idiot at all. I think he's dishonest in this instance. I think he's trying to create confusion. I don't think he thinks fair value accounting is going to crash this company. It's just my opinion. I think their job is to trash this stock. But that's just me. No one else can do SoFi and Galileo. Yep. Fair value accounting argument is recognized short term is bad, ignoring the future revenue. So is the fair value accounting argument just that recognizing short term is bad and ignoring the future? It's just these. I mean, they can't make a coherent argument as to why it's not valid. It's just not the accounting that the other, companies in this business use. So it stands out. It looks odd. It looks like, okay, if it's different, it's fishy. Where there's smoke, there's fire. But if you start to look at it, they don't mark their own loans. There is absolutely nothing wrong with what they're doing. And if there was going to be massive defaults that would more than offset that, the gains they recognized up front, that would be happening already. Interest rates have been high for several years now. These loans do not have durations of like 5 and 10 years. They have durations like 2 and 3 years. At the outside, I think it's like 4 and 5, but most of the durations like 3 years or less. You'd see it show up. The defaults would be out of control if what the five head was saying was true. It's not true, guys. It's not true. I don't think so. Or maybe he thought it's true and it just didn't come to fruition. The defaults didn't materialize. He thought we were in for a much harder landing than we were. Right now, we're not even landing. It's not a hard landing. It's not a soft landing. We're circling. We're trying to burn fuel. It's not any kind of landing right now. I'm not convinced, inflation is under control. They're going to keep cutting and cutting. I think we could have a pause. I don't know. It's up to Fed Jerome Powell and the other governors. Once again, to quote the great philosopher Ric Flair, woo! Oh, that was a weak woo! You guys remember the great Ronnie Woo Woo? Anyway, guys, I'm completely out of voice. I've been talking for an hour and 17 minutes about absolutely nothing. I don't think I've made any sense, but if any of you have enjoyed the broadcast, get yourself to a psychiatrist immediately. You need immediate and intensive psychotherapy. They'll qualify for the S&P 400 mid-cap upper positive Q3 results. I'm not familiar with that index, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know what will that mean a lot, Mr. Nobody. I don't even know what the hell that is. S&P 400 mid-cap. Okay. So it's just S&P 400 mid caps. Okay, when we were sleeping, he knows we were nice. Santa, Anthony Noto. Yep, Santa's Q3 and Santa Raleigh Drool. So I'm taking off 29th, getting hammered. So flies with me. Brew Tank Outdoors. Well, your name is Brew Tank, so I didn't think we really had that many doubts. Same here, getting hammered for earnings. Maybe I'll do a drinking game. I put the plug in the jug, guys. I don't drink. Best decision I ever made, but I would like to drink filtered tap water. My God. This water has been sitting on my desk for like years. There's a small spider crawling in it and like 500 fruit flies. I think I'm going to pass. I'll just have a spritz of whiteboard cleaner. Hold on. Delicious. This reminds me of the scene in Dumb and Dumber where Lloyd doesn't know how to use Panaka. Spritz the wrong way. Anyway, religious investing is wild. Yeah, hubby won't let me go in the hardware store. I might get a Sawzall. You have more SoFi shares or the parts. Hello and welcome, Carl C. Mark, Mattress King of Chicago. Hello and welcome and hello. Yeah, it is a new hat. Where the hell did it go? I took it off because I was hot. Oh, this is my Neo Nextel EV Formula cap. What the hell did I do with my SoFi hat? I don't know. I sold it. I threw it somewhere. I think it fell. Oh, here it is. There it is. Yeah, this is by Honey Badger. Is that who that is? Travis Matthew? I don't know who that is. No, that's not his name. It just sounds similar. But anyway, yeah, guys, got the SoFi Stadium hat yesterday. Right in the stadium, I was watching my Raiders take a severe beating of a high school janitor. Nice new backpack, Sally. Who are you? Like, you're the man, but he has the insurance. This guy was telling us if only the sky would have been telling us to buy when it was 450. Yeah, no, I was telling you as loud as I could, guys. At 450, at 6, I just keep telling you it's undervalued. It's going to go up, but people want to buy after it. You want to have the IBD model where you buy after the move, where you buy after for sure. And if that was the way to do it, I'd have been, running this NVIDIA thing. I wouldn't have sold my Palantir up 100%. I would have made like 500%, but nobody's perfect, guys. My crystal balls are murky at best. You didn't get an invite to SoFi Weekly. I would have thought you'd been invited since you're Canadian. No, guys, the Canadian FinTurd Mafia is a closed shop. I saw they have another like big guy with a beard, and he's a lot smarter than me, but he's not funny at all. I think it kind of, I don't know. They're doing like a serious broadcast. I mean, they have sponsors and stuff, so I get it. They don't need some guy up there making coarse references, using a lot of body talk. Not body, but body. Don't need a lot of loose talk about my granddaughter, to quote Judge Smales. Guys, I see 14 after earnings, trailing with 12 months, so I could look like a screaming buy. I'm looking at 1360, so I'm right there with you, Lee. I think Lee makes a lot of sense. What's up, Carl? John Blanjovi, I know that you're not here to be an advisor, but be curious, if you had to invest now, would you buy options 2 years out or just purchase shares at current price? Listen, here's what I did, guys. I had some options. They were like $7 options expiring right after earnings on 11/15. I was up 300 to 350% on those options. I had a huge profit. Because I feel like there's risk of a sell-off, I sold a lot of those. Like I said, I was already up 350%, and I converted them into leaps, expiring, I think, $12 leaps expiring at the last possible date, which is, I think, middle of 2027 now. So if I would unless you're going to sell covered calls, then I would buy shares because that makes more sense. You'll do better. But if you want more leverage, it makes a lot more sense to buy calls for, 2 years out, or better yet, 2.5, 3 years out. I mean, a leaps, they say, is anything over a year expiry, but I really consider it at least 2. You want to not let time decay bite you right in your big fat ass. So you don't want to buy any short dated calls. Guys, I'm able to buy some calls couple months. I don't buy weeklies or anything, but I'm able to get out of these things with profit most of the time. Not all the time. Sometimes I get caught and I lose all my money, and it happens. That's just part of buying calls. It's a fool's errand for the most part. You have to really know how to time it. You have to really be paying attention, and you have to, more than anything, be humble and be able to take profit. Now, 350% profit in a few months is very unusual, but it happened. And I don't normally like to tell people to buy calls because I don't think it's usually a good idea unless they're, like, say, at least for 2 years. So if you're going to sell covered calls, buy shares. You can actually sell covered calls on leaps, but it's more of a sophisticated strategy, and I don't really know how to do it. A lot of people online, you can search for it, and apparently it's a workaround where you're able to work like a wheel strategy off of your leaps. So look it up. I'm sure, like TJ, the Wheel Deal, any of these guys, like Uncle Bruce, I'm sure they, explain all that. I'm no options expert, as I've said. It's going to 16 end of year. I'm at least, like I said, Billy Jack, I'm very conservative. I'm saying 1360, but I'm not mad at you, Billy Jack. You're representing Texarkana, and you're doing so admirably. Billy Jack is always full send. Full send. Anybody with 2 first names goes full send. Not afraid. No fear. We just need to shake out the bag holders or weak hands. Yeah, Lee, I don't think there's very many left. I mean, how many shakeouts do you want? We've had this stock's been shaken out more than a fucking walnut tree. More than a nerd turned upside down. Like, nerds. And the small wings. I should have put small wings, paper hands, Lester Diamond Country Club, Golf Club Hustlers. I should have put my money into the stock instead of buying a Peloton, even though my trailer roof was leaking. That's funny, M. Russo. M. Russo really pays attention. That's why she's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's why she's getting in the members area. Like I said, the Unpoco Moss members area, you don't buy your way in. You can't get in. You're not getting in. The only way you get in is if you're a Hall of Famer. And you get in for free. I'll pay you. I don't need you turds, broke turds, to pay me. I'm flush with cash. I just made so much money on SoFi options. I'm embarrassed to say. You probably won't believe me anyway, and that's fine. But it's like some guy always comments like, "You don't own Microsoft." Okay, bought it in 1996. Like, show me your tax return. You're a stranger on the internet. And how would my current, like, I could show you the positions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't prove anything. I'm good at Photoshop too, so I don't know. I pay my bills somehow. I'm not living in one of my 6 cars. Oh, anyway, yeah, it's you can't convince people. Like a lot of people, it's hard when people who are broke talk down to you to not like laugh at them and like I've been doing this 30 years. I invest for some very wealthy people. And yeah, this is fun. This is comedy, but in real life, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to fuck around. I don't have any more filtered tap water, not a lurk. I got to end this broadcast. It's going nowhere fast anyway, but yeah, and I could take a break, but I don't know. I could roll right into the Neo video, but I have to change everything over. Chia Pet is doing the force hand wave. This is not the stock you're looking for, but it's not working. I'm just doing an impression. Oh, let's not go there. I don't want to do that impression. That's going to be a bad one. Clap my dog. That's Gangster, Soar, Filtered Tap Water, Daniel's Company. What's up, General? What's up, Stockman Mark? Good to see you. I don't know, man. We're enjoying the day, enjoying being green on a red day. It's like Kermit. It's not easy being green, but SoFi's managed it. Clap my dog, filter tap water's fuel is second in command, not a lurker. Not a lurker's first in command. He's running the operation. I'm just the creative talent. I'm just talent. He's the management. Welcome and hello. It's Poco. What about SoFi Cyberbanks? That's some branding. SoFi's Cyberbank. That is some branding. I don't know the Cyberbank branding. I'm sorry. Is that something new? I apologize if I missed an announcement. I'm a SoFi Bank member, but is that called Cyberbank or is that the new thing with the loan platform? I'm not sure what that is. Clap my dog. My apologies. I should probably know that. Would you equate Noto to Wally Cleaver and Lumpy Rutherford? I don't know why I wrote that, Stockman Mark. It was just stupid. I was just completely tired and idiotic, and I just saw some little thing. I don't know where I saw something the other day mentioning Lumpy Rutherford, and now he was a bully, but he smiled like, "Oh, hello, Mrs. Cleaver." Like same with all Wally's friends, Eddie Haskell. "Oh, hello, Mrs. Cleaver. That's a lovely sweater you're wearing." "Thank you, Eddie." Like Mrs. Cleaver knows he's just a complete piece of shit. You need this shirt as well. Don't forget to don't sub and like. Danny got hacked by the great Not a Lurker. You know the difference between us because I have this beautiful head of hair and Not a Lurker's from New Jersey. So nope. Let's see. Funny when you imitate the insurance guy from Groundhog Day. I'm all right. Yeah, thanks, BX. I need 3K subs by the end of the year. No, I don't. I don't want any subs. You can all go sit and spin for all I care. You're not great. This is Not a Lurker hacking my account. Come on, let's go. The risks are I don't have enough SoFi shares. That's the only risk. Facts, Lee. Welcome and hello, and welcome. Let's all buy matching Corvettes. Indeed. I don't really want a Corvette. I want another C10 truck. I already have some, but I want more. 60. If you have a 67 to 72 C10 original short bed truck you would like to donate to Unpoco Moss for restoration, I would certainly give you a tax write-off more than KARS Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. But if you have a 67 to 72 C10 original short bed in good condition without too much rust or cancer, give it to Danny Deals because he really needs one. They're too expensive and I can't find one. Donate your car to Danny. Peter L just picked up some more shares today at 10:35. Nice. Trevor the SoFi Raiders Super Bowl win. God, Snoop. I don't know if I would or not, man. I have too much SoFi. Yeah, I would probably give my left nut for a Raiders Super Bowl win, but it's already a little smaller than the right one. So it's not quite a 50-50 trade. 1150 is more mental. There really isn't a lot of buying at that price. Yeah, it's not a meaningful level at all, Matt Flo. You're completely right. Bread Dab, show tip ranks, please. Okay. Sorry. Cut it. Right there. There's all the tips. Sorry, I know these comments are like 5 miles behind. Or do I just hold it for now? Any options, guru? Should I roll my options at March 2025 up over 100%? I just rolled my November 15, 2024s out to 2027. I like to give myself as much time as possible. I think there's nothing wrong with taking those profits. There could be some short-term risk if the ER is not what we want it to be. So I always believe, I don't know. I'm definitely not the options guru. So wait for some of those guys. I personally would probably hold through earnings, but I'm a gambler, Carl. I'm not an options expert, and I'm a gambler. So ask someone else. NorCal now heading to LA on Wednesday to go to the game on Thursday. Not back in Minnesota the 31st. Matt Flo doing it big. Matt Flo is probably Anthony Noto's twin brother. The Kimball Musk of SoFi, if you will. Hopefully at 40 engineer hires for the SoFi Invest platform. I completely agree with you there. Andrew Schmidt, we bought the dip at Jeffrey Adelson. We didn't look like a creep doing it. Yeah, that's funny. Midwest values. We call it Midwest values here. Notogenic indeed. Love you on the voice, man. Thanks, Stockman Mark. I don't think you're talking to me. You're talking to Snoop Dogg. Yeah, Snoop. I don't know. I don't quite get the whole Snoop Dogg thing, but going strong after all these years. Me and my brother almost flew in for that. State of the game the other time. Katie, Lisa by the dip. Guys, I can't keep going on these. Inri, Cloud My Dog, GG, Ozzer Khan, my big position, SoFi, Neo, Upstart, Affirm, Hood, Shopify, Simpath, LC, Elf, Seagood, earnings of above and flow, expect 20% plus, where I hope you're right. I don't think you're going to get that much out of Upstart. I think the stock's about to take a huge crash. Where'd you get your SoFi hat? I got it yesterday at SoFi Stadium. Lee, I agree. Neo, I'm holding up 200 shares, man. SoFi are buying back shares till the end of the year. SoFi are not going to buy back any shares. Not at all. I read about Skylos on Neo. The process are very exciting. Yeah, Neo is absolutely crushing. When Tanner did that interview with that analyst, Gary, I think it was his name, I thought, oh, I'm going to be rich. Yeah, and me too, Lee. Katie Wentworth, SoFi is not buying any shares. No, absolutely not. Katie's absolutely right. No. Oh, no. You need more names on the bell. I know. Who would you nominate? Clap my dog. Katie, Neo. Way too many comments. Too many comments. Not a lurkers, right? I'm not going to read any more of these because they're all garbage, except Richard Vaughn. We like Richard Vaughn. We like Paul. PAB 10x next time. Thanks. Yeah, 10x is making a nice move. VTAC made a 200% move the other day. I held my shares. I just bought a bunch the day before. It's totally insanely lucky. But anyway, guys, I got to get off. I'm losing my voice. It's a SoFi stock. It's ticker symbol SOFI. Let me give you just one more check of the pushing up after hours. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Strong. 1045, 5 cents after hours, up 3 cents on a deep red day. And NASDAQ futures up. I don't know if anything happened there. Now is better than ever. Revisit bonds. Dow stocks edge lower. Monday's open. Stocks. Okay, so nothing really new there. Nvidia, Supermicro, leading tech stocks higher. I don't know about if there was any big earnings today. I haven't time to look yet. But anyway, guys, I'll take a look. Futures look good. SoFi looks great. And our future's bright. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me. I want to thank Noto Lurker, Alberto Bertiavales for moderating the show, Jay Money for producing the show, and Stock Karen, Hurricane Lopez, and all the rest for being the voices in my head. Until next time, guys, want to thank you very much for watching, and not financial advice. Buy SoFi. No, seriously, be cautious at these levels, guys. Don't chase. We could see a pullback. If you've already rounded out your position, you don't need to chase it on the way up. The market makers are going to drive it up for us. They don't need your tiny wings helping them out. So anyway, guys, have a great afternoon. And I'm trying to do a Neo, but my voice is going, and I need to take some cold medicine and go to sleep. Anyway, guys, have a great evening. I'll talk to you later. Peace. I'm out.